One of North America's true roller coaster circuits lies just northeast of the city of Atlanta, a challenging, flowing, narrow road course named for said city. Over the decades, it became synonymous with its signature Petit Le Mans race, a season ender for what was then the American Le Mans Series and is now the IMSA WeatherTech Championship. But tonight, we're not racing high-powered prototypes or GT cars. It's Spec MX-5 race cars for the penultimate round of the 2023 Full Send Sims Spec Miata Series. This racetrack over the years has changed some, and in the late 1980s, it lost its signature gravity cavity, a multi-story drop on the back straightaway right on your screen down to what is now the road level of the tunnel that passes underneath, and then up over to the top of what is still Turn 11 today. But it remains a true challenge for every driver that takes on this 2.5-mile, 12-turn circuit. Welcome to the Full Send Sim Spec Miata, round number 9 from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Kyle Hired this week leading the broadcast with Finney and DeCuna in tow, as Greg Kramer is here at this racetrack preparing for Petit Le Mans, so he will be missing this round. He'll be back with us at Sebring for the season finale. Finney, welcome aboard. 2 20-minute races lie ahead as we finish off the championship. And, of course, it's Morgan Burkhardt near the top of the standings with Nicholas Rice-Budo hot in tow.
Yeah, I haven't been following this championship this season. Of course, Greg's been covering it with you. But if you gave me a list of drivers of who's racing this year, I could have told you who's leading the point standings by now. Morgan Burkhardt, fantastic driver, especially when it comes to this MX-5 machinery. He really knows how to throw these cars around this track. And I have no doubt in my mind that he'll do fantastic here tonight. Keeping that points lead, he's got just 12 points above Nicholas Rice-Budo than Beans Forrester. So if he doesn't make a mistake, though, those two will be right on their tails.
Yeah, it's really close between Burkhardt and Rice-Budo, and of course Forrester's not that far back. And Rick Segrini, Piatek, and Caleb Patry are also pretty tight to each other. So that'll be a fun battle to watch as we head into qualifying for the first of our 2 20-minute races. And just like it is in the points, Morgan Burkhardt is on top of the standings. And in third at the moment is Jordan Segrini, who this past weekend got his second ever podium in the Toyota GR Cup North America Series, which was really exciting. Got a chance to eat lunch with him and his parents and his sister. Just such an awesome family to hang out with. Appreciate their time. They actually brought me apple pie lozenges with there's like a warming sensation. There's like a thing in it that makes your mouth feel warm.
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing, and thanks so much to the Segrinis for bringing that to me and being just awesome competitors and paddock members as well.
Yeah, you can see these guys playing some shenanigans down the back straight. If you're wondering why they're going so slow, got a little conga line going. And I have to imagine this is because no one wants to be in the front when you're starting to go, because that tow down these straightaways is huge. So everyone wants to be one getting the tow, not giving it.
Yeah, and this is a fairly long lap for these cars, 2.5 miles, about 1 minute and 41 seconds around here. So you don't get a lot of opportunities to do qualifying laps. The drivers that have run the most have only done 4. Caleb Patry, again, it seemed, well, look at the frantic scramble on pit lane here to get out before the end of the session. It is really busy as cars rejoin the racetrack. But again, a long lap, it takes a couple of attempts to get a good one, especially with traffic. We've got almost 30 cars here again tonight.
Yeah, a frantic dive into turn 3 for everyone trying to get loose. And also have to include a bunch of other guys on a flying lap. They're coming to the guys that just came out on pit lane, so it's going to be tough, it seems, to get a clean lap in, especially because these guys only had 15 minutes. We're down to 7 minutes, and a lot of guys, I mean, they put in some time. Some guys' times are probably a lot slower than they would like, so they got to get going. Yeah,
Nicholas Rice-Budo has been a phenom here in this series. He's battled up front week in and week out. He's second in the standings coming into the night, and currently sitting on row number 2 if the race were to start right now. So he's got some work to do. Joshua Soto has seen flashes of greatness and, of course, is running fairly decently in the points, but hasn't really strung together a season in the way that he would like. And he's tucked in right behind Camden Hibbett, who is one of the drivers that we've got on our video meeting tonight. So we'll be able to watch him as we do typically each week. And then we've got Beans Forrester as well up there in the standings, who's just ahead of Hibbett on the racetrack there in that number 23. He's currently 6th in qualifying with 6 minutes to go, Finian.
Yeah, we got the conga line forming up again a little bit faster this time. Camden Hibbett actually pulling out to make a pass on the 23 of Beans Forrester, so he'll get by. Wanted to take his spot in lane as everyone works through turn 10. And again, that's where they're all lining up for that slipstream down into turns 10A and 10B right here. nailing that exit, getting up and over under the bridge, and back down to the start finish line.
Yeah, and this is a tough racetrack to qualify on in a momentum car because you have to carry so much speed through one area in particular. Turn 10A and 10B, this sets up your run for the end of the lap, but also the beginning of the next lap. And the inside apex of both of these corners is very easy to pick up and off track when you're driving through here in anger. So you have to be pretty aggressive with those curbs, but it's very easy to get yourself caught up and get yourself an incident point and not log any laps like Dave Brown, Jorge Ortiz, Eric Hewo, and Alex McClellan. Actually, McClellan has run a couple, but hasn't run any that have counted because of those off tracks. So a consideration for sure, setting up for two races that flow into each other, one to the next. Where you finish in race one is how you will start race two.
Yeah, that's, I guess, the one point that, could help these guys out. But if you qualify bad in race one, qualify bad for race one, I should say, you're just losing out on potential points in race one that you could have gotten in both one and two. So, especially for the guys that are fighting that championship battle, I mean, they're up near the top already. It's just a matter of what order they're going to be in near the top, really, that they're trying to sort out right now. I mean, it's pretty close. Burkhardt's, well, I shouldn't say it's too close because Burkhardt's got a 0.3 of a second gap over Camden Hibbett. Then Rick Segrini is another couple tenths back. Then it's a little bit closer back there between Rick Segrini and Resputo. Let's look at Oliver Piatek in 7th place in the 62. Nice green color.
Yeah, Olivier Piatek has been really solid this season, up in the points championship. Was in the picture last week a bunch at Watkins Glen. We ran the short course, which was a lot of fun. Not a track that you typically get to run or see run with sports cars. But, yeah, you had a really good run last week. Carry some momentum into this week. And I think drivers that are looking for a bit of momentum themselves, Skip Brock running 10th at the moment in that bright yellow car. Easy to spot for sure, but again, I think you're going to want to be up towards the front. We've seen breakaways this season, and we've seen drivers outrun the draft, Burkhardt in particular. While this track is very drafty from turn 7 down to turn 10A, I think you can run away with the way that these cars are set up with that fixed setup. So Skip Brock Jr. would like to start a little closer to the front so that he is in that front pack.
Yeah, we'll see if he can execute here. Still got some time on the board, not a whole lot, but still some time left as he comes across the line through the final quarter. Can he break inside the top 10? I'm sure he would at least like that much.
Yes.
And indeed he will. He will jump up to
10th.
Where'd he go? Oh, 2 tenths. There we go.
Jordan Segrini again. So I was informed, I asked about this because his name changed on the GR Cup North America entry list from Jordan Rick Segrini to just Jordan Segrini. And I asked, and it's Rick is the middle name, but Segrini is the family racing name. So, of course, it is Jordan Segrini, but prefers to have the Rick read aloud. So that's why he is combined Rick Segrini. But it is, of course, Jordan Rick Segrini, 3 separate names.
There you go. Okay.
But I actually prefer that also because if he split them, then it would not show up in the graphics. So works out nicely that way. But again, really, really solid run in Toyota GR Cup North America. He only entered as of Nashville at the beginning of August and ended up tying for 10th in the point standing. So just had a really phenomenal run in a field that has 30 cars week in and week out. Got a couple of podiums, one at Sebring, and that was a second, and then a third at Indianapolis, and that was enough to propel him to 10th.
Planning on making a full campaign next season?
It sounds like that is in the cards for BSI Racing, which is really exciting. We'll find out more, I'm sure, along with the whole Toyota GR Cup North America series. I know that Gresham Wagner told me that he is intending to make it one of his main appearances next season because of the cash prizing in particular. You can actually pay for your racing if you're winning, at least, which he'll do plenty of.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get up to 10th in the standings after missing a bunch of races, that's really, really impressive. So I'm interested in seeing how he performed doing a full season. And I mean, from seeing him in the simulator, he performs very well. Some fantastic stuff, fantastic moves. Sitting in third at the moment, trying to see if he can find a couple more tenths on Camden Hibbett before this is over here.
Yeah, and because we're running the heat format,
off the track he goes.
Yeah, a little wide there. He's actually in the green, but well, not anymore. He's going to bail out because of the heat format. If you can't get back to the stripe, the times will not count. So 26 cars, 24 of which have set lap times. Morgan Burkhardt, though, still on provisional pole by almost 3 tenths, as you pointed out earlier, and someone's got to take the fight to him I think Rice Pudo has been traditionally the most aggressive driver, and he's going to start kind of kitty corner to him up front.
Yeah, looking up at pretty much everyone on the track, no one's really improving here as everyone's getting in their last couple laps in with 30 seconds on the clock. The 72, Jordan Butler was taking the access road there for a second. It's the 89.
Jim Friedhofer, no pickup
working his
there.
way through turn 1. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get another lap, so he's going to be back in 16th. Caleb Patry in 5th. At the moment, he will finish up at.
Yeah, he picked up a little bit, so that's exciting to see. Seth Spolman, we had an onboard camera from him earlier. We don't anymore. I don't know what's up with that, but very easy to spot livery with that. Reminds me of that, what was that Xbox Connect demo where they like hang it from the ceiling and you can like draw in the sand and it creates the landscapes. You know what I'm talking about?
I wish I did because it sounds really cool.
Yeah, because it uses the depth sensor on the Connect and you hang it from the ceiling. And then you could basically draw in sand, and it would make like a geographical topological map out of it, which I thought was really cool. So all things aside, it's about time to go racing here in just a moment's time. Of course, we will have our entire pace lap. So before we get to that, let's spend some time thanking the sponsors and the partners and people that make this happen. Of course, Full Send Sims, we'll talk more about them later, but 3P Logistics offers logistical support for you, your family, and your race car. They take care of booking flights, rental cars, hotels, and group gatherings while you're away from home with tailored trackside support, race car storage, maintenance, repair, and transportation, all inclusive for 3P Logistics Track Services. And Final Turn Motorsports with owner Rob Greenwood. Full-service prep shop and trackside support, dyno tuning. They build transmissions for Miatas, and they are the front-running chassis builder, partnered with the best engine builders in the SM class. Of course, in the SCCA. Driver development from licensing to pro-level racing. Final Turn Motorsports. Appreciate their support. And of course, Wine Country Motorsports, our newest partner here in the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series, the racer's source for helmets, suits, gloves, shoes, seats, and harnesses for over 30 years. It's a one-stop shop for sim racing gear and a Full Send Sims turnkey and custom simulator vendor. Of course, they have the largest combined inventory of premium race car gear brands in the country, the best customer service in the business, and they answer the phone when internet friends do not. So Wine Country Motorsports, race gear and equipment, appreciate their support. And of course, Full Send Sims with Court Schmidt offering fully customized racing simulators and full motion sims. Of course, they've demoed those most recently at the SCCA runoffs, and of course, always appreciate Court, and will be starting this race in 13th place. So with that wrapped up and completed, we'll head down to the racetrack here as we've got our pace lap still to complete. Before we turn them loose for 20 minutes, we'll have two 20-minute races fitting. That's about 12 laps. Let's roll through our starting lineup. On row number 1, it's going to be Morgan Burkhardt in the number 40 and Captain Hibbett in the 132.
Moving on back to row number 2, it's going to be Jordan Segrini in the 108. Next to him, Josh Soto in the 77 lineup in 4th place.
And in 5th place, it's Caleb Patry in the 998. Nicholas Rice-Pudo starts 6th in the 03. He got bumped late and fell down the order from 4th to 6th.
Moving on back to 7th is going to be Beans Forster in the number 23 and 62. Olivier Pitek in the 8th place position in rounding up row number 4.
Christian Rice-Pudo starts 9th in the number 19 car. Skip Brock Jr. rolls off 10th in the number 32.
Row 6 is going to be Spencer Connor and the 122 on the left-hand side next to him. Jordan Butler in the 72 in 12th place.
And in 13th place, it's Court Schmidt. And Seth Spolman will line up alongside him in 14th place.
Jose de la Casas in the 1 car in 15th place. Will be joined by Jim Freidhofer in the 89 in 16th.
And 17th place, Charles Vaccaro in the 221. And Les Chachik in the number 47 starts 18th.
Rich Greenlee lineup in the 22 in 19th. Rounding out your top 20, Luis Morales in the 08 in 20th.
And 21st place, Alex McClellan kicking things off in the number 44 car. Dave Brown starts 22nd in the 105.
Wayne Buttermore is going to be lined up in the 73 in 23rd. Next to Mike Schmidt in the 531 in 24th.
And the last row is going to be Eric Hewo in the number 16. He'll start 25th place. Jorge Ortiz did not take the grid, but he will start in 26. That's your starting lineup here for the Full Send Sim Spec Miata Series. Round number 9. Missing Greg Creamer this week. Wish him the best. He is in Road Atlanta, getting prepared for the Petite Le Mans. But here we are at the virtual Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta here in iRacing. The championships on the line. Quick reminder again of the season standings. It's Burkhardt 12 points ahead of Rice Sputo, then Forster 2 points behind that, and another 13 back Jordan Rick Segrini. Olivier Piatek rounds out your top 5 in the standings, but has a bit more of a way to go to catch anybody ahead of him. Cars will head up over the hill, and this time through we're going to turn them loose as everyone got kind of disconnected there coming up over the crest. 20 minutes, about 12 laps worth of racing here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The Full Send Sim Spec Miata Series, a frantic start, everyone in split, and we're going racing already. Green flag, and 3 wide at the start fitting as we rush towards turn 1, 4 wide.
Oh boy, this is going to end very poorly here for a lot of the championship runners up near the front. Burkhardt getting swarmed. He'll actually lose the lead. Rich Segrini will take the lead, heading off into turn 1. We're still not done yet.
Oh, I hear spins behind, and it's Alex McClellan that's gone around for a loop, but up front, Rick Segrini takes the lead away, and trouble behind him.
Around.
The Camden Hibbett gets turned around. We'll look at that one a little bit later. Down the hill, Morgan Burkhardt and Jordan Segrini have pulled clear of everyone else. Piatek, oh, the leader's wide. Segrini almost in the fence.
Yeah, I was going to say, when wide, it's going to compromise the speed a little bit. Burkhardt might have a chance to get back at him heading to turn 6. Looks like he's not going to be able to, but might be a sitting duck. Meanwhile, those two are in a big breakaway from the rest of the field as everyone's still trying to get sorted out here. Still a frantic start.
Yeah, there's Seth Spolman in the green car. And looks like Skip Brock Jr. ran off course for just a moment. Now he'll pull back on track. But a nice clean getaway for the PRG teammates. Look at the gap that they've grown. Already 1.2 clear of Olivier Piatek.
Yeah, they're really took a really good advantage of all the chaos that ensued behind him to break away. And you can see Burkhardt giving Segrini a bum draft just to further break away from Piatek in Patchery in behind his main competitors.
Oh, Piatek took a big chunk of curb there. He's got Caleb Patry tucked in behind him. Rice Sputo went backwards. Well, didn't go forwards at the very least. There's the Skip Brock car. But a contact coming up over the crest in Camden Hibbett. Let's go back and see what happened. Going up into a Skip Brock Jr., I think, is heading for pit lane. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe a start.
Might need repairs, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like the suspension is a little bit weird on that car, but yeah, I think that would be why.
Well, let's go back and see what happened at the top of the hill. There was contact from Piatek into the 19, into the 132, and then Soto got a piece of it at the end. So just kind of a stack up there as everyone tried to stop.
Yeah, you really cannot do 3 wide to turn 3. It's just not going to work, and it just elbows out pretty much there as everyone got clumped together into basically a single car corner while they were 3 wide as the leader still trying to break away. Piatek just working hard as he can to try to keep up. He's just on the tail end of that slipstream, about a second on back from these guys, so he's just trying to see if he can catch just a little bit to work with so he can get out of his clutches.
Oh, trouble at the exit of 5. Buttermore, Spolman, and there was one other car that was involved in that. Let's see if we can find... Oh, Spolman was around. He got hammered. Holy cow. Let's go back. Here's a look at it again. Spolman kind of all on his own, gets up on the curb, too aggressive on it, loops it, and then just gets clobbered.
That was Mike Schmidt that hit him.
Oh, man.
Oh, and then he got right at the end there.
That was Buttermore that got into him right at the end. A couple cars already down in the pit lane early. Now, is Piatek keeping pace? It looks like it. He's only 1 second back and still in draft.
Yeah, he's trying the best he can do, and he's made out actually quite a bit on this lap. I think he's made a couple tenths up on this lap alone, so if he just keep doing what he's doing, he should be good. And Caleb Patry also just trying to ride the coattails to keep his hopes alive to try to win this race.
Yeah, I wonder if running nose to tail in these cars with only 2 cars is actually slower. I think just having to brake a bit earlier and compromise your line because you're following someone so closely, that could be a challenge. Camden Hibbett down on the pit lane, not going the way that he would have liked. Some damage from his contact as well. Forster and Rice Sputo trade spots, move the 0-3 up to 5th place.
Yeah, a solid run for Rice Sputo out of turn 1. Forster getting in the grass on the exit. That allowed him to get ahead before turn 3. Forster trying to see if he can ride him behind and potentially respond to this on the back straightaway.
You got busy hands through the S's. That's a fast place. And you and I have both been in a car around this racetrack and gotten to witness how challenging and narrow it is. And it is a pretty visceral ride around here. I mentioned in the intro that it's very much like a roller coaster, and that area in particular, you're under a lot of compression and carrying so much speed.
Yeah, I was in a Dodge Charger flying around the S's, and oh boy, is it terrifying in a really fast car. Especially as the passenger, it's absolutely insane to go down this hill. Quite literally a roller coaster, as these guys on a much calmer part of the track, at least this part, as you head up and then a big downhill dip heading out to the apex of turn 10A, and you can see in the picture, Piatek and Patry have caught up, so it's officially a 4-car battle for the lead.
Yeah, and they've completely separated Rice-Budo. But last time by, Rice-Budo wasn't that far off in lap time, and he had to pass Beans Forster. Let's see if he's faster on his own. Could he run him down from 3 seconds back? That's a lot of asking to do in just 14 minutes, but he might have the ability to do it if Forster plays ball behind him. But into turn 1, 4-car breakaway, and Burkhardt still chasing. So as a teammate, you've tried working together. That didn't work. What now?
I guess just try to be the rear gunner here. You know, be the goose to the Maverick, because there's really not a whole lot you can do. You have to try to, because Piatek's going to get really solid runs. You know, getting or drafting off of 2 cars, and for Burkhardt, if he just sits in behind and just sits right up on those, he's not really gaining any more speed, right? He can try to push Segrini, but I don't think it's really going to help that much. It'll help a little bit, but they got to worry about Piatek and Patry, and they don't know when they're going to make a move. They can just kind of keep them guessing. He's got to defend for 14 more minutes.
This might be the draftiest racetrack we race on all season because that long back straightaway. Burkhardt jumped the curbing there, and I just wonder if Piatek is going to stay in line or if he'll take the fight here. He's just run him down. He knows he's got pace, and the draft is enough to keep you in tow. So are you willing to risk making a pass and failing? Maybe not at previous tracks, but tonight we're seeing this pack formula now. Is 4 cars faster than 2? We're about to find out because Rice-Budo and Forster are nose to tail in the background.
Well, it's faster when they're not fighting for a position, and considering it's for the lead, they're definitely going to be fighting for a position here.
Ooh, a little boot there to Segrini into the braking zone, and they'll have to compromise their brake zones just a touch. Up over the crest here at turn number 11. So now I'm watching lap times, and let's see what Patry has run this time through. It is a 141.78, and Rice-Budo, well, 42.09. So that was a slower lap for the 5th place car.
Yeah, I think Rice-Budo, you just need someone really to help him. There hasn't really been that person except for really Beans Forster. So I think what he really needs is these leaders to just start dogfighting each other side by side into corners like turn 3 here through the S's, just to hold themselves up. But I know that the leaders are smarter than that. They're going to try to keep it single file for as long as they can up to the last lap, because they want to keep it amongst themselves. They don't want to make sure no one else, especially guys like Rice-Budo, get up into that battle.
The more cars you have in the fight, the more entries, the more variables that you have in your equation, right? And for those that did any kind of differential equations in college, you know what I mean.
I was going to say, you know what it means.
add more variables, and it gets really, really hard. And so the less cars you have, the less frantic it's going to feel at the end, the more you can plan a maneuver and expect it to go as expected. My favorite part about this racetrack and the way that it races in slow or low horsepower cars like this is it has a very similar effect to roller coaster at VIR. Pick left, pick right. You can make either line work. There isn't one given move that works at turn 10A to make a pass or at the exit. Go ahead.
Never mind. Sorry, I saw Rice-Budo had a black flag, but it was Christian Rice-Budo, not Nicholas Rice-Budo up in 5th. But number 19 black flag, I believe that's probably for going over the incident limit.
It could be. So I wonder if it's still early enough in the race that it could have been a meatball too. Here's Piatek to the inside of Burkhardt at the top of turn 11. Now side by side through 12. This would be terrifying in any car later this week at the Petit Le Mans, but in Miatas, it's full throttle down the hill.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 GT cars doing that. One of them is probably going to end up in the wall doing that kind of maneuver, but with these cars, it's slow enough to get it done, and he's going to try to complete the maneuver, going to be to the inside. Burkhardt not letting up, still going to push on that left-hand side.
Wow, good battling here side by side into turn 3. Who's going to give? Piatek commits, and Burkhardt commits, and Piatek had to bail out, and that brings Patry all over his rear bumper once again. And look how much that separated them in just that split second.
Yeah, because Piatek had to back way out for the corner, so it just cost him all that time on through the S's. Because the whole flowing section, you mess up one part, you mess up the rest of it. So further back, Beans Forster working his way on, trying to tailcoat to Rasputo, and I'm not sure what's the game plan for these guys. Do you want to try to battle it out? Do you want to try to have a chance to catch the leaders back? What do you do?
I think
There's only 10 minutes left.
I think you have to push until you know that you're not going to get there, right? As soon as you know that you're not going to catch those front four, then battle it out to your heart's content. But for now, they just saw a better lap time last time by than the front four did. 1:42.202. That was faster than anybody in that front four group. Now, they were battling for position, and when they single out, they might go quicker, but I don't give up until I know that I mathematically am not going to get there. Whoa, big slide there for Rick Segrini off the front bumper of Morgan Burkhardt. Big push, went a little wrong. Ooh, that was a big hit.
Yeah, big bump in the middle of 10A, and I'm not sure that was Burkhardt trying to give him a push to get a better exit or not, but might have compromised him. Here we go. Here's a move from Kilpatrick on Pytech. Same move he did last time to Burkhardt. He's going to go up the inside and clear by the exit.
Into third place. I told you that Rasputo was aggressive, but Patry has been as well. Hasn't paid off for him as much as it did for Rasputo earlier in the season. He's gotten caught up in a lot of incidents, not of his own doing, though. But now he sits in third with under 10 minutes to go. And two teammates ahead of him that are working together, but I wouldn't say that they're meshing like two well-oiled gears at this stage. They've had not a lot of success trying to run away from the field as a pair.
No, I don't think it's really going to work. If the rest of the leaders were more disconnected, might have had a shot, but Patry's also, and Pytech were quick enough just to catch back up. Two cars just doesn't seem to be enough, but they keep trying to do it. I am really concerned, though, because Burkhardt pushes really late, right up until the braking zone, so I feel like one of these times you can go really wrong if Segrini just hits the brakes a little earlier.
Here comes Burkhardt with a shot to the quarter panel of Segrini. Tried to give him a boot out of the turn, but I'm not sure how well it worked. And all the while, we've been keeping a keen eye on the intervals. Rasputo and Forster are closing in, and I wouldn't call that an insignificant gain. That last time by for Rasputo, it was about half a second on the race leader.
Yeah, I think they're really just hoping something else happens, like what we saw with Pytech and Burkhardt, where they get side by side, everyone gets compromised and slow down. But they're behaving for now as they work through the back half of the lap.
And just behind Rasputo and Forster is another two-car duo. That's Jordan Butler and Court Schmidt, who's up from a 13th starting spot. Nice climb forward for the Full Send Sims car. And we should also note that this is Beans Forster we're looking at. He's got a Full Send Sims shirt on.
There you go. Rep the brand.
Attention to detail. Under 8 minutes to go. Up front, hasn't changed a lot. Looking a bit deeper in the field, Camden Hibbett had to serve a penalty on pit lane. Didn't stop, but it looks like he just had to roll through the pit lane. Now, it was as low as 18th. He's rebounded to 14th, and this is only critical because this is where you'll start race 2 from, is where you finish race 1.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I believe that penalty is probably from getting too many incidents, which is really a kind of punch in the gut, right, or kicking the person while they're down, because he got most of those incidents from what happened on lap 1 after being sent around, starting in second. So decent recovery drive back to 14th. Still has a chance to get a few more spots, but I think now he's just trying to recovery drive for the rest of the night, unfortunately.
And he's about 3.5 seconds back from Les Chachik in the 47 and quickly approaching. So he might be able to climb up as far as 12th. I don't know that he can go much further without incidents ahead of him here, but works his way through turn 5 as jump back to the leaders down this so long back straightaway here, under 7 minutes to go. And I think the catbird seat here is probably second place, but you have to slot yourself between these teammates, and that's going to be a challenge.
That's going to be the challenge, and even then from second place, it's still not a guarantee. Yes, you're going to get that slipstream, but the driver in front, they still have a chance to defend it. They pick the right place, take the line the right way. You can still hold someone off in that corner and make the move.
Jordan Butler, Court Schmidt trading spots, move the 172 up to 7th. And now we head down the other side of the hill at turn 12. Come back around now to 6 minutes to go. But Segrini has led every lap so far. Burkhardt is in tow. I also wonder if they switch now, is Burkhardt going to be slow on the straightaway because of that damage? That's not insignificant. That was a pretty sizable contact that he had to the back of his teammate. And it might be a bit like a parachute in the wind at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to try to risk it or if Burkhardt's just going to say, I want to have a chance to lead. But at some point, you know, he's going to play nice with his teammate up until probably the last lap heading down into turn 10. So I'm curious if they're just going to play nice until then, if Burkhart's going to try to make some moves on Rick Segrini. Man, he just gets me really nervous. He was just looking the inside there. Tapped, went offline. Here comes Patry now trying to make a move. Well, Piatek give him a bump.
Yeah, Piatek giving him a big shove here as they head up the back straightaway. But now tucking back in. It's almost like a race. Think at a place like Talladega, you plan your move, and if you do it too early, they'll know your move and do it to you. So you're going to have to kind of behave yourself and hold back maybe your greatest strength until later in the night. Piatek with a big run again, but he's going to, well, I thought he's going to sit on it, but here he comes. And he's going to trap Patry on driver's right. He's going to go down one of the teammates. Is he going to get it stopped, though?
Wow.
Just.
Made it work. 2-for-1 deal for Piatek, gets the move made, and here comes Caleb Patry making the move on Burkhardt. Burkhardt going to lose 2 spots in 2 corners.
And now they've split the teammates up. That's the critical move there. Now Segrini put some distance on him, and Rasputo and Forster are coming. So Segrini would love nothing more than just to drive off into the distance, but don't know that he'll be able to do that on his own with the drafting pack behind him. If he runs really clean laps and the drivers behind him spar, that could be a different story.
Speaking of drivers behind them, through that chaos, look at, you say, hang on the shot, there is Rasputo and Beans Forster coming in. They're now a second off of Burkhardt. So this could very much become a 6-car battle if these guys continue to brawl it out in these closing laps.
And they know how much they've gained, and they're just going to keep doing that. And now that they're spread out a little bit, whoa, both of them go wide. Now that they're spread out, they can use that momentum from the slingshot rather than just pushing, which I always feel is a bit slower than if you lag back and let the toe really pull you along versus getting trapped behind the driver ahead of you in corners. So, and they're also within drafting distance of Burkhardt now, so they really should be able to close this gap up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like they're effectively caught up there and just about a second behind Burkhardt, so they're effectively in it here. They can catch back up. Piatek trying to catch up to Segrini here using the slipstream. Caleb Patry actually going to leave the 62 out to dry. He's going to get a run, and actually he's getting help from Burkhardt.
So, like I said, if these drivers battle, they could give up time to Rick Segrini, and down into turn 10A, this time Patry. Oh, Patry's internet. It has been a recurring story, is his internet going out, and this is going to be a big distraction. They're losing time. Lost a couple of tenths through that last sector. 2 laps to go.
I thought he got dumped there for a second from the front end of Burkhardt, but they're going to keep it going. But yeah, like you mentioned, lost a little bit of time. Throws everyone off kilter, especially Morgan Burkhardt. He has to brake and compromise himself. So now that he's back in, they're going to have to hope and pray the internet stays. No more issues on that side of things, because now is where it counts, because now we're getting down to the thick of it.
Yeah, 2 laps to go, so next time by will be white flag. And the chart, actually, by the way, Camden Hibbett just made a pass for 11th place. What a drive. He's 9.5 seconds back from 10th. I don't know that he'll get there, but this little battle. Joshua Soto dropping a few spots to Chachik and Friedhofer. A good little scrap happening deeper in the pack here. But up towards turn 6, Segrini's lead is now just 0.7 of a second. It is coming down, and provided everyone stays single file, it'll come down quicker. Now, Rasputo lost a bit of time to the car ahead, but gained some back in 6 and 7, so still within drafting distance to make it a 6-horse race for first place.
I have a feeling we might see Burkhardt trying to make a move on Patry here. I don't think he's going to be willing to push the 998 of Patry up to get him a chance at second place. I think Burkhardt's going to want to defend his teammate and take that spot for himself. We'll see here. He's bump drafting him now.
4 tenths. There's probably going to be about 3 tenths by the end of the straight, maybe even 2.5. Braking zone for 10A. Where is it? 2.5 tenths of a second into the brake zone. It's effectively nothing now. How much that draft plays into a factor here. Minute and 20 seconds to go. It'll be white flag this time through. Patry is second, Burkhardt third, Piatek fourth, then Rasputo fifth, and they're just clinging to the draft. I don't know that they're going to have enough time to do anything, Piatek included.
Yeah, I think all they need, these guys get side by side. They might have, Rasputo might have a shot then to make a couple spots up, but final lap for these drivers through turn 1. Patrick's there and on the back bumper, and now since the teammates have been broken up, can he make a move? He's got to run here into turn 3. He's going to look to the left-hand side. A big block from Rick Segrini.
That's a tough place to make that pass work. He's got to run here at the exit of 3. Now, where do you go with it? Slides across the nose of Burkhardt, slides across the tail of Jordan Rick Segrini. Now down the hill through turn 4 and 5. A little bit of lap traffic. That's Wayne Buttermore up the road. Are they going to catch him at an inopportune time here?
Oh, he's going to go off the track. He's going to compromise some of these guys on exit 3 wide with the lap car in the grass. Here comes Caleb Patry trying to look up the inside here, heading to turn 6.
And Burkhardt has the onboard here. He's going to try to slide underneath his teammate. Segrini crosses over Patry. He's going to go up the inside at 7. Burkhardt's going to lay back here and try to build the run.
Oh boy, he's going to hold everyone up here on the exit. Burkhardt, a little bit of a shove to Rick Segrini as they head down the back straightaway side by side and almost 2 by 2 here. I'm curious to see if Pitek's going to try to get a run and make it 2 by 2.
Side by side now, mirror to mirror, wheel to wheel. Here comes Piatek to the left, who's going to be 3 wide for second now as they head towards 10A. This is going to get very dicey into the braking zone. Who's going to outlast the rest? Whoa, they're in the grass. Piatek's run out of road. Patry has the lead advantage. Here comes Segrini on the outside. A little bit of contact there for third between Burkhardt and Piatek. They're going to run each other into the dirt. Raisputo's close. Patry has the advantage. And coming down the hill, it is a last lap pass. Physical, but he muscles his way through, and Patry wins race 1 here for the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series at round number 9.
Now that's what you call a battle for the lead.
That was great. Then it's Raisputo 5th, Forster, Schmidt, Butler, Jose de la Casas, and Charles Vaccaro. And as far as other battles, the only one close enough to be a run to the end here is Chachik and Friedhofer.
Yeah, last couple of drivers finishing up here. Stragglers coming across the line. A lot of these drivers getting involved or slowed up at least from what happened on lap 1. Driver went on a recovery drive. Speaking of which, came to him and he did finish in 11th, so decent job for him. Skip Brock also off on lap 1. He will finish in 15th.
And all those that were involved in early incidents, only 2 did not finish. Alex McClellan and Christian Raisputo. Dave Brown, the last runner, 1 lap down. 4 cars went 1 lap down in that race. Let's have a look here at the race results. Pretty wild race and a good one up front. It had cars in the dirt coming to the checkers there. Piatek in the left sides there. Wanted to go up the inside of Patry. Patry didn't leave enough space for him to get a car down there.
It's all enough for Caleb Patry. That move coming out of turn 5, he could have backed off seeing the lap car was there, but he said, you know what? I need to go for it now, and kept it going 3 wide with the lap car and Rick Segrini, and managed to get himself in that fight and hold off Rick Segrini all throughout the back straightaway. So solid chart for him.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun race to watch there. So with that, we'll take our warm-up period here for a moment. And again, we want to thank our sponsors and partners for making this possible. Of course, 3P Logistics, Final Turn Motorsports, Wine Country Motorsports, and of course, Full Send Sim. So we learned some things from race 1. The draft, really powerful, Finian. How are you going to address that for race number 2?
Really the best is try to, I guess, be second place. But even then we saw, I guess really with the leaders side by side, he was able to kind of negate the draft a little bit. They're both kind of slowing each other down and everyone else down. But yeah, I mean, you know, you could try. It's really just a matter of trying to figure out how you're going to get out of the turns 10A and B as we're looking at it right here on the B-roll. You know, you said you can make a move either side, but you know, if one driver's got the momentum, maybe you can try to dive in a little bit more. And also you got to worry about that exit as well, because if you get compromised on the exit, it could ruin your run through the rest of the corner. Because that's why it's such a great corner. You see drivers fighting back. We saw for third place a big dive, but they were both able to keep side by side throughout the corner and to the checkered flag.
Well, we're going to step away for just a moment and replay some highlights from the first half of the season as we approach the season finale next week at Sebring. Everybody will be chasing this driver. Morgan Burkhardt rocking a new livery this week.
You still can't count out Nicholas Raisputo, obviously there in that red number 15. We've got some other names that are showing some speed as well. As always, the top 3 at the end of the season will all receive trophies. Round 1 of Season 3 of the Full Send Sims Esports iRacing Spec Miata Championship. Hi all, I'm Greg Kramer, and welcome to a true Roval. And joining me once again for Season 3 is Kyle. Here we go, it's an absolute drag race. We're ready for Season 3. Spec Miata, Esports, iRacing for full set sims. We're green. And a really even start here as they head to the line. Beans on the inside, Morgan on the outside here. Down into turn 1 we go. Oh, look at this. So close. What's going to happen here? Look at this scrap. Wow, what a battle here. Puto floats high. Morgan gets the nose down underneath here. Here we go. And he got him. Burkhardt going to do it from the outside. Josh Shoto in that red and black car sweeps the outside. But look at that. Burkhardt went in incredibly deep. Big lunge by Rice Puto down into 1. As we head down into turn 1, that is difficult math. And look at that move by Rice Puto trying to get underneath Burkhardt and get him offline. Could not get it done. Everybody running a little bit wide in the back. The pressure Rice Puto continues to heap on Morgan Burkhardt here. Mark on his right side, and I don't know if there was contact.
Oh, and there's a push.
Forrester. He gets a run here, comes up to the inside, but as Morgan dives down to the inside. Ooh, look at this, side by side, almost 3 wide, up into turn 6. That's tough to do, and our friend Noah Jackson right in the middle of that again here. Braking duel. See Soto trying to fade over a little bit. Boys, wait, oh, how did they not touch? And all 3 of them. How did they not touch?
The wild card here because he's not. Oh, look at this. One to the left.
Gets clouded and clouded again. Rice Puto runs just a little bit wide. Hibbett side by side down the hill. If Hibbett can stay put.
Back live with you for Race 2 of the Full Send Sim Spec Miata Series, round number 9 from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. That was the halfway point of the season, and there has been plenty of action since. We wrap up the season in 1 week's time at Sebring International Raceway, but for the first time, I think, maybe ever, it'll be on the club course, Finian. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Part of me feels like we've done something on the club course. Maybe I'm misremembering wrong, but I've rarely used layout of Sebrings. That'll be interesting for the drivers. I'm sure it's something they're going to have to get used to.
Yeah, certainly. I don't even know if we have cameras for that, so I was going to ask you.
Oh, yeah, no, we definitely don't.
So we'll have to address that, because Finian's our camera guy as far as setting up our trackside cameras for everybody to enjoy. So as we get set to go racing once more, we're again here for round number 9 of 10. There is a drop round in the points as well. That'll make things pretty interesting come next week as far as the championship battle is concerned. But pace lap and starting lineup is on the left-hand side of the screen. And, of course, they are as they finish. So look for big runs this race by Skip Brock Jr. starting 15th, Joshua Soto 14th, and Camden Hibbett, he will start 11th. He's got some work left to do.
Yeah, quite a bit of work left to do. Again, is on a recovery drive tonight after being taken out on Lap 1, turn 3 from second place, dropped all the way down the order to around actually further than that, I think around 17, 18. He's been able to climb his way back up to 11th, and we'll see where he can go from there, because we know that's a quick car. He's got a brand new car now, repaired and with everyone else, so if the cards play right, he might be up there near the top and fighting for the lead here.
I think the other thing to consider is the start of the last race was pretty strung out. Everyone got kind of held up through the chicane and didn't really get a very good launch. Wonder how many drivers have learned from that and will be, look at that shot, holy cow. I think the start will be a bit more bunched up as people will know that they're going to get bunched and probably plan better for it.
Yeah, I'm curious actually if the bunching, because they're required to go on the green flag, right? They have to keep pace until the green flag. Yeah, so we might see if we do have more cars. That start was already chaotic when they were somewhat separated. If they're moored together, it could be even more of a chaotic start. We saw 4 wide going off to turn 1. Don't quite think we can make 5 wide work. I don't think the straightaway is that wide enough.
Just it's a fast-paced pace lap. I was actually telling Creature on the way home the other day at the Indy 8-hour weekend at Indianapolis, one of the touring car races. The pace car is a GR Supra, and they had a caution late in the race, so they wanted to finish up the pace lap and get back to green. So the safety car picked up so much speed that none of the cars could keep up with it because the pace car out-drags them easily on a straightaway. So it came by the front straightaway doing at least 120 miles an hour, and it took me by surprise. I've never seen a pace car go faster than that car was going. So not quite that fast here, but sometimes it feels like that because it doesn't really slow down for the corners. Like, look at this thing. Watch it come over the hill. See ya.
Yeah, it's coming there, and everyone's nice and tidy for this start, so we'll see how this plays out.
All right, here we go. Race 2. Final race of the evening for the Full Send Sim Spec Miata Series. Round 9, much tidier start. Will it create a more chaotic turn 1? Green flag. We're underway at Road Atlanta. Look at this. The 40 car popping out of line. We're 4 wide in the background as Skip Brock Jr. tries to move forward.
Yeah, very poor start for Patrick. Immediately going to lose 2 spots and be almost put middle 3 wide. A giant wreck in the background off into turn 1. Cars going flying in every direction. Yeah,
I saw it. I think it was Friedhofer, one of the cars sideways. That was a big mess down there at turn 1. We'll go back and look at that one later in the show, but Rick Segrini leads the way. Piatek, Patry, Burkhardt, Forster, Rice.
Very clean start for the rest of the top 10, who are all pretty much going to be in one pack if they remain this way as they sort themselves out. Ooh, and one car trying to shove the other off to the right. Camden Hibbett making a move to the inside of Court Schmidt, and he will make it work in turn 6.
Up 3 spots in almost as many corners, so off to a very good start for Hibbett. He qualified well in the last race, too, as Schmidt goes for a ride in the dirt at the exit of 7. We know he'll be quick. Interesting to see what kind of interest he brings to the front race group here, as they've kind of established the rules of engagement amongst themselves and haven't had any outside influence in a little while.
I was going to say, it's round 2 for the top 4. They're all playing games with each other the last 20 minutes in the first race. Now, for 20 minutes more, they'll play some more games that actually Piatek not willing to play games immediately make a move to the inside.
Yeah, Piatek pops out of line in the green car, goes to the inside. Little contact there with Segrini as Segrini bounces over the curbs. And Patry now fills the gap on the inside line down turn 11.
Going to take advantage of the 62, make a move to the right-hand side of the track. And we'll get on by for second place.
Almost shuffled Piatek off course. Piatek now on the outside. Not the preferred line for the first couple of corners. You're going to get left out to dry here. But hangs tough alongside Caleb Patry. Runs right out to the edge of the curbing. That's almost off the road.
Ooh, and Burkhardt, an aggressive block on Piatek as they make their way to turn 3. And 62 gets shuffled down to 6th place, make that almost 7th. Hibbett trying to make a move in the S's.
Yeah, that's a tough line to make work, but Hibbett goes through into 6th place. That was a disastrous first sector for Piatek. Hibbett with a big amount of oversteer through turn 5. He is on a mission. Look how calm, cool, and collected he is behind the wheel.
You realize that he needs to make up some lost points and is willing to do so up to 6. Great drive for him so far. Picking him up, putting him down. He's next got Nicholas Rasputo and beats Forrester up the road.
Had left side tires in the grass on the brakes. That was a bit nerve-wracking for a moment. Gets it straightened out, and up the stretch we go. Segrini, Patry, Burkhardt, 3-car breakaway. Patry is the PRG sandwich here down the backstretch.
Yeah, still breaking up the teammates and trying to prevent them from getting hooked together and breaking away, as there's a little bit of a 3-car breakaway back from Burkhart to Forrester. Patry now trying to just squeeze out. We'll look on the left-hand side here of Rick Segrini up into turn 10A.
Oh, long side. Nice, clean racing there. Patry leaves a little bit of space. Gets
Whoa!
hit. And back across the road. Saves it.
And you'll think you should be able to maintain in the group here, but looking out here, I'm wondering if that was Rick Segrini getting just a little bit too much curb and it's sending him out into him, or?
Yeah, it's just tough, right? You're going to watch wide. It's really hard to stay very tight right there. Shuffled Patry out, and Patry did a great job saving it, and so everyone behind him did a good job missing them as he slid across the road. But Burkhart, Segrini, Forster now into third place. This is a good run here for Beans.
Yeah, and Burkhart taking advantage of Rick Segrini slow out of that corner, so he took the lead away from the 108. So Burkhart, your new leader, with Rick Segrini, Forster, Hibbett, and Rasputo in tow. And then it's Caleb Patry back in 9th, a little bit out of it, 4 seconds down.
So is Forster going to stay in line? He moves left. But the real question is, when you get to the back straightaway, are you going to push? Ooh, ran all the way to the top of the gearing there. Didn't go for the gear, missed the apex through 6, because to his inside comes Camden Hibbett with a big run.
And Hibbett up to 3rd place. What a climb forward, up 7 spots from where he started. And now trying to see if he can catch the 2 teammates up in front who are a little disconnected at the moment.
Don't look now, though. Rasputo is back, and Piatek is with him.
Yeah, Rasputo probably wishing that there was about 10 more extra minutes in the first race to have a go at the leaders. He just caught up to him but wasn't able to do anything with it, so definitely wants to make more of what he's got now in race number 2.
Yeah, the front 2 have the advantage that they're teammates and are communicating. And those behind are really kind of all on different strategies here and aren't necessarily working together. While they've all been battling, Court Schmidt, Jordan Butler, and Patry are back in the mix here. Schmidt and Butler for the first time. Patry on a bit of a recovery, but we know he's fast. I wonder if he can push along Butler and Schmidt and make this a much bigger battle. It seems like it could be that way with how disorienting and disorganized it's been.
It's going to take a while, though, because he's going to have to get through 8 cars and about 14 minutes. That's a lot to work. Look at all these guys coming through. Whoa! Look like Court Schmidt was about to run off the track. He's sideways in front of Patry. He's going to slam on the brakes, throw Patry in the grass as they're 3 wide. Still not done. And Patry just lost a huge amount of time.
Yeah, that was a clumsy sector for a couple of cars there as they bounced over the curbing and just got a little bit out of control, and they're going to lose some time, as you pointed out. But single filed again without significant damage. Kind of a wild ride down the S's there. Rich Green also having some trouble. Let's see what happened to him.
Ooh, already sideways down. Did he get some help?
47 to his inside here. Let's Chachik, and ooh, he just slid wide. Chachik did. And 22 almost rolled over in the grass. Carlos Vaccaro and Josh Soto. We haven't seen a lot of Soto tonight. Got caught up in an issue last time out in race 1 and only sits 10th.
Was a victim of the lap 1 incident we saw. Was started in 4th, got finished back in 14th, so started this race around there and is trying to move up a little bit here, up to 10th at the moment.
Patry passed Schmidt and now looks to cross over Jordan Butler. Schmidt's going to cross over Patry. They'll try to go down the inside, but Patry denies him.
I think Patry's trying to see if he can get clear of these guys and then have them help them get back up to the leaders, because with what happened through the S's last time through, that slowed them down a lot.
Into turn 1 alongside. Patry should complete this pass without a lot of trouble, but now they're almost 5 seconds behind. And as you pointed out, they were with the leaders just a couple of laps ago, and they will not be now. And without much hope of catching them in only 12 and a half minutes. Morgan Burkhart is 6/10 clear of his teammate. And then behind him, it is a whole host of different teamed cars. Hibbett, Forster, Rasputo, and Piatek all fighting for their own wishes tonight. And Segrini now playing the rear gunner, but here comes Rasputo out of line. He is hungry. Didn't get a chance to fight for it in race 1. You know he's in the mix now.
Oh, definitely. And I'm actually curious to see if Rick Segrini, I'm surprised he hasn't caught back up to Burkhart. I wonder if this is a game those two are trying to play, maybe trying to back up the rest of the pack away from the leader. So that way they don't have a shot of making a move. That being said, there's Captain Hibbett moving out on the line, trying to see if he can make a move, as well as Rice Puto, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty racy here. 5 tenths. You just watch that gap come down. 5 tenths now. It's going to be 4.5, maybe 3 tenths by the time they get to the break zone. Yeah, just under 4.5 tenths. 4 tenths. Forster on the inside of Rice Puto, still trying to hang on to that spot. I think Rice Puto might be able to muscle it back here through 10B, but they touch, and Forster almost spins. Gathers it back up, though.
Yeah, hard-fought battle there, and got the elbows out. Fortunately, Forster going to be the one to lose out on that.
Yeah, he's going to drop right back into the Patry, Butler, and Schmidt fight. So eliminate one horse from the race, and now it's a 3-car breakaway. Hibbett, Rick Segrini, and Burkhardt.
Yeah, Rice Puto and Pajak not too far behind, and they need to work together, get a little bit closer back to that slipstream to be involved with these guys.
Oh, Hibbett a bit clumsy over the curbing at the exit of 3.
Yeah, got his sore out for the rest of the S's though, but you can see this one. That's what we're talking about there. You know, you just get caught behind in one corner, mess up the next two, but Hibbett was able to get it back on track and over the back of Rick Screen.
Never lost focus. See him didn't go to the 5th gear there, kept it in 4th, lifted early. No need to drive in hard when you have a car that you're chasing in the draft anyway. Didn't get a great exit out of 7, but it doesn't matter all that much in these cars when you can earn it all back by the end of the straight. There's that gap, 7 tenths of a second as they leave turn 7. It should be about 5 to 4.5 by the time they get to turn 10A, but Segrini's not closing in on Burkhardt.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like, if he's playing a game here or if he's actually trying to catch back up and just not able to. They don't see any damage on the car.
No, it looks great.
Team.
Reminds me a lot of the battle that he had with Gresham Wagner at Indianapolis on Sunday, which was just 2 days ago. Crazy to think about that. But it was kind of locked into battle with Gresham, and Polbecker was able to kind of skirt away. Eventually, Wagner was able to get by and close the gap slightly, but never got all the way there. There's Hibbett, though, the wild card in this mix. Under 10 minutes remain.
I'll back up there. I'm curious to see if Hibbett's just going to wait here because he's got 10 minutes to go. They've got a decent gap. I think really the next big worry is the drivers in behind you, right? Rice Puto and Paita catching back up, trying to prevent them from doing so.
Oh, man. See Rice Puto take all that curb there at 3. He was jumping that thing. Let's have a look at that. As they came over the crest here at 3, watched how much rumble strip he's going to take on the right. And with no way to really break your suspension in these cars in iRacing, you're free to take it all. 4 tires off the ground there and a big compression on the other side. You see Piatek in the background clipping it a bunch as well.
Yeah, Piatek went flying off in turn 5 in the gravel for a little bit, but he managed to keep it going.
But Piatek carried good speed and is now a firm conversationalist here in this front pack battle. So he'll make up the rest of this differential on the backstretch up to turn 10A. And Piatek is just clinging 1 second back, 1.1 back. Might need a bit of help to get back in the draft here of the 0-3.
And this matter just kind of playing the game, just trying to get that slipstream as much as you can, just kind of stay put. Especially while they're straight and single file and not battling for position. And there he is as the brakes pretty late in the braking zone, effectively caught back up.
Now, think about the point situation here. Rice Puto is chasing Morgan Burkhardt. How are you going to beat him in the championship? By finishing ahead of him. He didn't do that in race 1, so to come out at least even on the night, he needs to do that in this race. So that adds a little bit of hunger. Factor in the drop rounds as well. It's going to only help Morgan, who's had an incredibly fast and consistent season yet again. No surprises there.
Yeah, what he really needs is, I think, for Burkhardt, not only to finish behind him, but also, get off the track, get punted off, spun around a little bit and lose a couple spots because he's in for a very solid night, the number 40.
Yeah, a couple of podiums on the evening wouldn't be a bad way to go out. This is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment, so we're going to keep you here for now. Burkhardt, Rick Segrini, Hibbett, Rice Puto, and then Piatek lagging 2.5 back. And this is the calm before the storm. Again, it all really kicked off on the back straightaway at the end of race 1. But once they got to 10A, that was the interesting thing. is it was a race to 10A. Usually you'll see cars like this fight all the way down the hill, but the way that the leaders set it up, the way that Patry and Burkhardt and Segrini set it up, they just came down the hill single file.
Yeah, I think that's what they're just kind of hoping for, is just, to get it sorted out there. But as we look at Captain Hibbett and Rasputo, when do you think they're going to make a move? Last lap? Second to last lap?
It's too early now. Earliest 2 to go, so another few minutes here. But Hibbett, upside line. I wouldn't be surprised if Hibbett tries to get past Segrini to set himself up right behind Burkhardt, but I don't think he'll make the move all the way to the lead unless it's given to him.
So Rasputo try to look to the inside of Hibbett, or to the right-hand side of him, heading through his final few corners. Hibbett going a little bit defensive on his line, just to make sure that Rasputo doesn't get by. He seems still poking at a line, just say, hey, I'm here. I can make a move if I want to.
Yeah, what might be ultimately the death of this strategy here is the car behind him doesn't want to help him. And they are fighting against 2 teammates. And last time, race 1, one of the drivers that won was not one of the 2 teammates, but this time I think Hibbett and Rasputo are equally disruptive in this battle.
As we look at this, Piatek, I'm surprised in behind in 5th has not been able to catch up as he goes, whoa, flying way off the track.
Use all the road, they pave it.
I mean, he bought the track, might as well use all the racetrack and then some, but he's been losing out a couple tenths here and there. He's not quite been able to catch back into these guys. He's going to have to hope they battle a little bit more to really get back into things, but he needs something to happen here. Otherwise, he could lose a slipstream. And then back there, you can see Caleb Patry being Forrester. Joshua Soto actually in this mix as well, so he's trying to work his way up, has a chance at 6th to catch up to the 998 of Patry.
Yeah, decent points on the line tonight, so we'll see if he can recover and make a few more passes here. Segrini laying back a bit from Burkhardt. Hibbett in tow once again, staying well. Hibbett stays single file. Segrini, though, does not. He goes down the inside of his teammate, makes the pass for the lead here. Burkhardt will slot into 2nd.
Wonder if that was planned.
It looked mighty conveniently planned, right? I mean, it was just so well done, so well executed. But now Segrini leads. Might be the quicker of the 2 cars tonight, and Hibbett tucks to the inside.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was necessarily by choice. I think he's trying to go defensive in case Rasputo makes a move. He gives a tap to the inside of the 132, and I think that's so Rasputo has a chance of these 2 guys get compromised on the exit. Ooh, and a little bit of a door tap there.
Up the hill, and for a moment they looked like they were going to do 3 wide. But now Hibbett was the hunter, now the hunted, and gets past Rasputo around the outside of 3. That was really well done.
I think that worked out exactly how he wanted to. I was hoping one of them would get compromised going side by side, and he picked up the pieces, so up to 3rd for him.
Yeah, nicely done, and now he has to hope that he's got the pace. Hibbett really wide there, muscling his way through over the curbing at the exit of 5. Lost a bit of ground to those 2 teammates. Next time by will be 2 to go.
Yeah, this is where we're really going to start to see these guys make some moves, because you don't really want to be 3rd. You definitely don't want to be 4th, and absolutely not 5th. As Piatek's finally caught up to this battle, to the point where you can say that he's in it right here as it started to kick off.
Still too far back to be a part of it, but he is in draft range now, though being left in the dust didn't get a good exit. When you're this far back, the draft is there, but if you don't absolutely nail your exit, or at least get even with the driver ahead of you, you just bleed time until too late in the straightaway to make it back up. He's got to make time in the braking zones, which is really hard when everyone's already on the limit and on the ABS.
It really has been where he's making up some of it, so he's just on the cusp, needs a little bit more here as the leaders take 2 to go here.
0.97 back is Piatek. Out front, though, it's still Segrini over Burkhardt. They traded spots a lap ago. The brake light's on there. Burkhardt just satisfied to stay in line. Rasputo got a nice run through 3. That's been a very strong corner for him. He's been very aggressive over the curbing, not really afraid to get a slowdown, which you can get here. But it's actually easier to get them at 10A than it is in turn 3.
Yeah, I've been kind of monitoring these guys just in case they've gotten slowdowns or black flags, but they've been somewhat behaved.
as behaved with track limits as race car drivers will get.
Yeah, it could have been worse. Could have been like the F1 drivers in Qatar last weekend.
Oh, Burkhardt goes down the inside of Segrini. That was a strange place to do that, I feel.
Oh, that cost these guys a huge amount of time. Here goes Speedo, and he gets completely boxed in. He can't go anywhere now. Got a car in front, car to the right, car behind, and grass to the left.
Well, is that the plan? I mean, they've got him boxed in, but now Hibbett has freedom to move to the right, and he's going to do that. 3 wide for a second, just like the last lap. Oh, they touch! Oh, man, Hibbett through the grass.
He's still in it. He's still in the throttle, still side by side with Burkhardt. Burkhardt's not clear. Here he goes, up on the right-hand side.
And Hibbett, Raisputo gets shuffled out. Hibbett did not get out of 10B very well. Gets a shot from Raisputo, and this will be the final lap. One more to go. I think the rules of engagement are clear. They use the bumpers there a bit. Oh,
These
Hibbett.
bumpers and the fenders.
Holy cow, you see Hibbett just turn that thing in and rotate? That was wild. Raisputo used all the road through one.
That was a really surprising move by the two leaders. They compromised themselves down that back straightaway. I don't think you really want that, especially here on the final lap, because now these guys are going to absolutely send it in the back if they have any sort of chance.
They did box in Raisputo, though. It just happened that Hibbett was there also. So I see the strategy if you've got only one car, but now they've got 3 in the form of Piatek joining the Raisputo and Hibbett onslaught here.
Well, let's see what they could do through turn 6 now on entry. Turn 7's where we saw a move last time by from one of them.
Yep.
There they go again. Big dive for Burkhardt.
Really big dive. Segrini will cross him over. And now here comes the onslaught. Pick a lane and roll with it. Hibbett moves to the right. Raisputo to the left. We're 3 wide for second again. And Piatek, is he going to do 4 wide here? Well,
he's got to pick something. He needs to get a slipstream and go somewhere. As Hibbett's giving a push to Rick Segrini, is he going to peel out to make a move? You got to imagine he's going to at some point.
It's going to come late into 10A. He's going to go to the right. I like this strategy here. If you can maintain overlap, but look out. Here comes Raisputo down the inside. Segrini gets tagged and slides.
Around he goes.
Raisputo goes through. And Nicholas Raisputo comes out the other side, leading the thing. Burkhardt second, Piatek third. Hibbett tries to battle for that podium spot down the hill. Final time. Raisputo outlasts Burkhardt second, Hibbett third by a nose.
That's exactly what Raisputo needed to get that leg up on Burkhardt.
And Segrini comes across the line 9th. That'll be a disappointing run to the end there. After he started this race in second. Let's go back and have a look at last run down the hill. Just caught the tail end of it here.
It started with Burkhardt getting late on the brakes, a punt to Rick Segrini, and he just quite wasn't able to save it.
I was trying to figure out where that all started because I thought it was Raisputo, but it actually wasn't. Was it Burkhardt here? Yeah, so it's Burkhardt breaks, moves over to the left, he gets into the back of his own teammate there.
Yeah.
And Raisputo was never going to make the corner, but he didn't hit anybody. And then right here, he gets tagged again by the 40, and Rick Segrini only got hit by his teammate, of all people.
Yeah, it's probably not going to go well with the conversation with that. You know, they say the one rule of racing, number one rule of racing, don't take out your teammate.
Yeah, that was tough there. But across the stripe, they came, and that's it. That was a wild, we had some great results, great finishes in that one for sure. Let's have a look at the race results in this one. Raisputo picks up the win. Burkhardt and Hibbett second and third. Piatek fourth. Disappointing ninth for Jordan Segrini, but he battled and did a nice job up front.
Yeah, really solid job by all those drivers up in the front. A fantastic battle, keeping us on the edge of the seats because we didn't quite know what they were going to do even at the end of the race. So they always kept us guessing. It was a hard-fought battle. Really, it's unfortunate for Segrini to fight so hard, be in the lead for so long, and come on with ninth.
Yep, and Court Schmidt, 8th place. Nice run there. Jordan Butler in 10th. Good points for those drivers. Les Chachik at top 15. Disappointing night for Christian Raisputo. He did not have the evening I think he was looking for. And Skip Brock Jr. This will be a night to forget as he looks forward to Sebring next week. All right, let's talk to our top 3. And Camden Hibbett was one of them. 3rd place in race number 2. Camden got physical out there at the end. Some fun battles, but it's a chess match, that turn 10A, 10B complex. You come home in third. Anything you could have done different there on those closing laps?
I don't know. There's so many different opportunities to go for a move here at Atlanta. So it's all situational. I'll have to go back and look at the replay of it, but definitely some fun racing, and like you said, a little bit of guessing down into 10A, 10B. You don't know where everyone's going to go, and then I looked out my left side, and the teammates were running into each other. It was just wild.
Yeah, it was fun to watch for sure. We head to the season finale next week at the Sebring Club Course. That's a kind of a different one. How many laps do you have around that track versus the full course that we did at the earlier part of the season?
I don't know that I've run any laps around that track, so definitely going to have to be doing some more practice this coming week to get ready for the season finale. I think it's still pretty tight, not only where I am in points, but also I think for the championship it's still pretty tight between Morgan and Nicholas, I think. So looking forward to it, and it should be a different kind of racing. I don't expect there to be tons of draft there, but definitely should be a fun one nonetheless.
It was fun to watch. Camden, hey, congratulations on the third place points. Not a bad way to end the night. We'll see you next week at Sebring.
Thanks. We'll see you guys.
Well, let's move on now to Morgan Burkhardt, who has a couple of second places. This one tonight, just shy by a tenth and a half. Morgan, the goal is the championship. Tonight you come home in second and third. Third place in race 1, second in race 2. Had a teammate with you there. Things didn't quite work out the way I think you were anticipating, though.
Yeah, if I could just give Nick the spot back, I would love to do that. I cleaned him out pretty good. That was all on me. I got onto the brakes into the final corner in the last race and got ABS immediately, and then missed the first downshift, and I was pretty much locked into drilling him. So it's a shame, and I do apologize for that. But other than that, it was some pretty close racing.
Yeah, and as far as points go, I think you should still come out a bit ahead because of Nick's race 1 finish. But focus forward on Sebring. What's the plans there? It's a track that not a lot of people have a ton of practice on, but obviously most of the course is familiar.
I kind of just have to go out and do as well as I can. I can't really take too many risks, so it's going to be a lot about risk management and doing all of the math and figuring out where I actually have to finish. I think we've shown really good pace all season long, so I think it's possible to kind of go out and control. But yeah, I gotta, because I'm the one with the most to lose, so I kind of have to be conscientious of everybody else behind me who has a little bit less to lose and will be more willing to take those risks more than I will. So yeah, it's all about risk management.
Well, best luck to you next week at Sebring, Morgan. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to talk to our one of our podium finishers from race number 1. That's Jordan Rick Segrini. Fancy seeing you here after the week that you've had. Podium in the GR Cup North America Series on Sunday. That was exceptional. And again, thanks again for that afternoon. That was a lot of fun, Jordan. But tonight, back to racing. Second in race 1, and we're in the lead going into 10A. Didn't quite pan out. Take us through it.
Yeah, just a whole lot of people trying to get into a corner that's hard to go too wide. So I don't think anybody meant anything bad by it. Just the way the cards unfolded, I was unfortunately the brake for a couple of people and just got spun around, couldn't save it.
Well, you're a pretty good break, I'll give you that. But as we head into Sebring next week, it's a season finale for this series, and we're running the short course. It's not a track that a lot of people have run on here in iRacing. What's your plan to prep for that? I know you typically just jump right into these things as you did this week. So is there anything more to learn, or is that just something that you'll just have to jump in and figure out on the fly?
I'm gonna stick with just jump in on the fly and see how it goes.
All right. Hey, Jordan Segrini gets it done here. Second in race 1, ninth in race 2. Congratulations, and we'll see you at Sebring hopefully next week.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. We've got a couple more drivers to talk to, including our race 1 winner, Caleb Patry. Race 2 didn't quite go the way that you hoped, but race 1 sure did. Picked up some pretty good points there. Caleb, take us through your evening.
Yeah. Yeah, race 1 was pretty darn intense. The start, we kind of all kind of botched it, kind of went slow coming out of the final chicane, and then all got up in each other's face going into 1 there, and chaos just kind of ensued in front of me, and thankfully I was able to avoid it. And then from there on out, it was just a 4-car train with the 4 of us. And again, that last lap was pretty darn insane. We were side by side through numerous corners. I still amazed that we made it through okay, but thankfully everybody raced clean, raced hard but clean, and ended up being a fun race.
Was a lot of fun to watch. 5th place in race 2. Not a bad points night. As we look forward to Sebring next week, what are the plans and goals there? Just try to get one more victory before the season's out?
Yeah, just all out. Send it.
All out, send it. Caleb Patry, 1st and 5th tonight in the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series. Best of luck to you next week. We'll see you there.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Nicholas Rice-Budo wins race number 2. I didn't think, and I don't think you thought you would make turn 10, but you managed to do it, partially because the drivers ahead of you knocked each other out of the way, but I'm sure you'll take that, Nick. That was a wild one. 5th in race 1, 1st in race 2, the opposite of what Patry did tonight, so you'll pick up equal points. But in your championship mission, didn't get much closer to Burkhardt, so take us through your evening and maybe your thoughts heading forward into Sebring.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun. I didn't think I was gonna win that last one, I'm not gonna lie. I was like in the lead because I had to cut the track, and then I was also serving a slowdown penalty up to the line. I don't know if you saw me hitting the brakes, but I got it done, so it felt good.
Yeah, fun to watch. A lot of great battles there, and that's what Caleb even mentioned, how much fun it was, and Camden and Morgan as well. But we look forward to Sebring Club Course next week. Not a track that anyone has really practiced on. Some people are just going to jump right in there and give it a go. How familiar are you with the club course at Sebring?
I've raced there in real life a bunch, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, should be good fun. Nicholas Rice-Budo wins race 2 here in the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series. Nick, thanks for talking, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Olivier Piatek was our last runner. Not on the podium tonight, pair of 4ths, but you were right in the mix there, Olivier. Take us through your evening chasing and just not quite getting there when the moment counted. The last race in particular, we were very, very tight, but the cards just didn't pan out. What'd you see out the windshield?
Yeah, race 1, the start was just an absolute mess. I don't know why we went green midway through the last corner, so I got a really good jump, got up to 4th, 3rd, whatever, and then I didn't really have the pace today. I just didn't practice at all. I haven't driven this combo until like 6:30 before the race, so I was learning throughout the day. But yeah, race 1, last lap, I was in a really good spot, but I had 11x, so if I made any sort of contact, I would have been given a drive-through. So I tried to make it 4 wide. I just saw it wasn't working, so I backed out of it.
All right, hey, Olivier, that was fun to watch. Congratulations on the P4s. A couple of decent points nights for you, and we look forward to seeing you at Sebring.
All right, see you.
All right, Finney, that'll wrap things up here for the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. This is always a fun racetrack in pretty much any car, but in particular tonight, we had some great finishes, some great racing, and everyone up front, despite a little bit of contact, seems pretty happy with how things are. They know how things go, and some days it's your day, some days it's not.
Good to see some good old-fashioned door banging with some of these drivers heading here. It's always so much fun on a track with a long straightaway. Have these low horsepower cars that love to slipstream. It just always puts on a fantastic show. These guys did exactly that here tonight.
Well, we got one more race. That'll be Sebring International Raceway next week. We talked about it. We love that place. But the club course, a brand new challenge at a very old historic racetrack. We'll see you next week for the season finale of the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series. But not before we thank our sponsors one more time. 3P Logistics, Final Turn Motorsports, Wine Country Motorsports, and of course, Full Send Sims. Practice makes podium. We'll see you next week as we declare our podium for 2023. Thanks so much. We'll see you at Sebring.